My homemade well house. Obviously a little small house. It is it's 10 by 6, the house. The whole platform is 10 by 10 if you count the porch. So it's 6 foot inside the house, 4 foot porch. One day of course got it decorated up, makes it look like a little old house instead of a well house. I wanted something different other than these little dog houses, what I've called them, that people have. But walk in here, kind of a mess in here, but got my little platform here. It's a little portable heater that I can plug in. Got a little outlet ran right there. If it gets super cold, like earlier this year, we had some like 10 to 15 degree weather, which is unheard of for this area. And I was able to plug that portable heater into that outlet and never had an issue whatsoever with water. But just an old water heater in here that's I'm using for a table. It's just sitting in here. It's no use to this right now. But as your well pump goes down in the ground, what I've got to do, and I haven't had the issue yet, but you can see I got a roof in here. But if I ever got to pull that pipe, I'm gonna have to come in here and cut a hole in that roof. And what I'll probably end up doing then, I'll probably add some kind of like a little chimney flue type deal. Way it'll be decorative and also a way of getting the pipe out. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had that issue as of yet. But goes through here, through the pressure tank. This is the one they installed with the house. If I could go back, I would get a larger tank, but that's that for now. So got this run. This is dirty. I need to clean all this up in here, but this goes here. So the supply to the house is right there. That pipe right there, that goes underground, goes to the house. It's a 3/4 line. I wish we would have run 1 inch. We still have plenty of water flow in the house. I like to have more than enough. So what used to happen was this went this way, and that's where I had a check valve there. Basically, I'll explain that later, but so it didn't drain water from the house and come out here, and it went up, and you can see right there where I got it valved out. I got to fix that, but that's where I had my filters. I had just 3 filters. Those filters would clog up. We have a ton of iron in this well water. I've tried treatment treatment, different methods, and it's been out here almost 10 years and it's iron consistently. That goes out to a water spigot out on the outside. But anyway, I moved those filters from here to these over here, and I'll explain those in a minute. But it used to come down there and then would go straight into here, then out to the house. And that went down, that goes to the outside spigot, but that valve right there was a way to bypass the filters. So it comes in here, it used to have to run that way up around. Basically you had this valve here was blocking. But you could valve that out there, and you could open this one and it would shoot, water would go in through here. I had valves up here and it would go down into the house. So you could bypass straight through the well, bypass filters. But the way we got it now, that stays closed. This goes out here, this comes out, goes around next to my outside water source. But the way it runs now comes through here at well pressure, but this is 1.25 inch pipe now. That's my supply to my house. So we come back here, follow that around, goes around, and tees up here. I got spray foam everywhere where I've sealed this up. Anyway, goes up here. That's a check valve. Water cannot backflow this way. So the reason I got that check valve is that's a supply to my water sprinkler and water wheel down at my pond. And I can open that up. Ton of water. So basically I just didn't want that siphoning water. You know, if that's running and someone opens a spigot in the house, it could, I mean, your pressure should push it up, but it could pull water from inside the house and siphon back out that way. Check valve prevents that. So go back to this real quick before I get off of that. But anyway, that's just water supply goes out. That goes on, runs under down here, runs down through there, and that goes down into the ground and runs outside to all my water outside. This is an outside spigot here. I like having valves everywhere. Just that water spigot bust on the outside or whatever, I can come right in here and close that, not mess with any of my other water supply. But this goes up through here, it comes over through this whole house spin down filter, and you can see right there tons of iron. Ton of iron. It's a little way to that just a little clean out. You can open this up and that's going out. Basically it's a little swoosh motion. This glass is stained, so you can't really tell, but I just come out here every so often and do that. Comes into here, just kicked on whenever I open that up. But got a T here. This goes up through a set of filters. This goes through a set of filters. And you heard me mention earlier about the filters clogging up. So instead of running through one set, it basically runs through two sets. And all these filters are the same. Like this one, and this one's the same. This one's the same. This one, so on and so forth. They come over here. Tie comes back to a T right there, back out to the thing, to the main water supply. Let me go back and explain these. So if you see here, this is a 40 micron spin down filter. So it comes up through here. This is a 5 micron, and here pleated. Same thing in here, but you can see, you know, this is stained. This ain't exactly what it looks like. My thought was clear, I'd be able to see it, but the iron stained the glass, you know, like in the first week, but still a good filter. But that's my original 3-stage filter that I had sitting over here. So basically just moved it over here and got it going this way. I had the flow used to go this way through there, used to come up over here and go that way. I had to spin these around and reverse the flow going that way. And you can see right there, it's got an in and out, in, out. So flow's going this way now. But anyway, it goes 5 micron pleated. Then from there, got a carbon block filter. I can't remember all the details. One of them was supposed to do like your sulfur and different particles or whatever. So there on this 3rd stage, KDF 85. That's specifically made for well water with high iron. So here and here is your KDF 85s. And then over here, I did another 5 micron spiral wound, or they're a little bit more dense. It's 5 microns, but to me they would plug up a lot faster than the pleated. It's kind of like a spiral wound or whatever. So that's basically just anything that gets by these filters, or even these the KDF5 material, or the material in these filters, this would catch it. And And then from there it goes through here. I actually got another check valve right there. And right in here. So the idea behind that is what the water's going to take the path of least resistance. So if this filter here starts plugging up, you know, you'll get some water flow through there, but it's going to send more through this filter. When this one plugs up a little bit more than what that one's plugged up, it's going to go through this way. Anyway, it's just basically a way to, you know, water can't go, you know, if this filter here plugs up solid, you're not going to send water back up around and backflow these filters. It'll stop right here or right here. I got a little clean out right here for that. Then little PEX line runs into here, goes down over there. If you notice, I'm a fan of valves. I like to be able to isolate certain areas. You know, if I have, like I said, this water line spigot out there bust, gives me problems, valve it out. Right here, if I have a little issue right here, valve out there, there. I can tend this just right here without messing with anything else. But you know, got valves here. If I need to change these out, you know, I can valve out one run here, there, and have it just force through here. But that being said, the KDF 85s, with the amount of iron we have, you know, we catch a lot of it here. But these filters right here, you know, these would start to plug up pretty regular, and would give me water flow issues in the house. Since I've been running the dual setup, I have hardly any. Basically, you're doubling the life and doubling the flow of your filters by doing it this way. You know, it costs twice as much, but you're getting twice the use out of them. I say the use, twice the you know, basically doubling the amount of time you have to change them out, and you're getting, you know, you're allowing a lot more surface area for water flow. Let me see if I can do this. If you notice, these did not come with these, so what I did here is I drilled those out and tapped them. I can't remember if I think it's 1/4 inch fittings what I used, but that's just the way. So, and I'm gonna run tubing outside, kind of like I did with this one over here, off of all these ports, but for the time being. But I also like to have a visual as well. So you get your filter here where you got all this iron that comes in here and it just sits. Well, I can open this up. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's some pretty nasty looking water. That's that iron in that water that's been caught by these filters. So that's one way you can flush that out. So I come out here every so often and I'll flush all these filters out that way. But basically just keep going until it's clear. You see that? It looks much better. Much better. Anyway, I'll do the rest of these in a minute. Also got to clean out right here. You know, I can come out of this one. Obviously, you just saw me do this one. That's pretty easy to do. My plans are in the future to, like I said, I'm gonna run tubing some outside to where all I can do is come here and open them up and shut them back off. But this one I didn't plan. So I drilled these before I screwed these on here, which was not the smartest thing to do. Because you see where they ended up. It's over here in the corner. They're a little bit more of a pain to get it with, but when I actually run my tubing, it might actually be easier just to go straight out that way, where these are going to have to come down. Anyway, might work out better. Then obviously when you change the filters, you'd have to push that in there, pull your tubing out. That way you can be able to spin your filter to change the filter out. But there you have it. I've got a pressure gauge here. Kind of want to add one maybe off of here, and maybe one back here somewhere. I don't know where I would add it, but that's what I have from that on that. Just to have a reference of a, you know, you better tell when the pump is actually running, your pressure difference. I'll just shut this real quick just to say, put some little landscape fabric cloth over the windows, just, you know, kind of keep it. Sunlight and water is not your friend. If it's airtight, it's okay, but basically just limit the amount of sunlight to, when you see right there, just sun beating down on your piping in here. Just trying to, you know, and also a little bit of somewhat privacy, you know, just hiding your filters and stuff from the outside view. But back in here, this little light switch I got rigged up here. Through there to a little box. Come out here at night, you flip your light switch on. But I do like this setup here because obviously you can see I can move around. I'm standing upright. I can come in here and work on my drawing a blank. Yeah, this thing. And can change my pipe out. You know, I can do whatever I need to do in here without, you know, them little small dog houses like everybody builds that you're basically on your hands and knees. You're sticking your hands in places. There could be critters or whatever in them. Whereas here, I got plenty of room. I can move this out the way. Got a place to put a heater in here to keep it all warm and cozy during our cold spells. Obviously some ants have infiltrated the thing. I gotta take care of those, but there you go. Turn that back off. Latch her up. Come around here. And that's the water spigot from the outside. My neighbor going down the road, but anyway. Feeds the hose, but like I said, I got my fan of valves, got valves everywhere. That's that outside hose. Comes out, basically shoots the water down to the ground to clean out. Mention that's privacy fence boards. Overlap, got it trimmed out, all treated wood. That's mobile home windows. And when I first bought them, I built this in 2016, 17, 16. It had to have been 16. Anyway, these were like 40 bucks a piece. I think the last I looked at them, these things were like 140 bucks a piece. But anyway, got it kind of just dressed up, makes it look like a nice little house. And plenty of room to work on stuff, and to me looks a lot better than a little small doghouse for your well pump. So there you have it.